Okay, we call the East China Township Park Commission to order
At 7:02.
at 7:02. Stand for the pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. Chairperson Don Wills here.
Okay, Kizron Ali present.
I'll help you guys.
I know.
Secretary
Evelyn Toll.
Kizran, Commissioner Evelyn Tolles here, Commissioner Betty Sharp.
you.
Here. Commissioner Fred Sharp.
Here.
Commissioner Bill Westerhoff.
Here.
Absent Pam Kelb.
Thank you. I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Okay, we have no guest speakers, so no public comments.
Don, sorry. Just for the minutes, just say all in favor, and then,
I'm sorry.
no, you're good, you're fine, you're fine.
Oh, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope.
Oh,
Then
any opposed?
good.
No. We have no guest speakers, no one here for public comment. Has everyone had a chance to review final financial reports?
Can we go through these just to make sure I got my head in the right place?
Yeah.
On this?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, do we have like a budget that we're working against?
We do.
Okay. Can you kind of, I hate to do this, but can you kind of take me through that? So,
Sure. Do you have the revenue and expenditure report in front of you
yep,
right now?
I do.
Okay. In the center of the page, you'll see the 2025 amended budget.
Okay,
And if you follow that down, you can see our total revenue.
right. And that revenue comes from the commission?
The
Right,
township board,
okay,
yep.
Right, all right. So then, I guess what I would say is this is saying that the ending balance as of 3/31 was 122,000. That's what we have to spend yet?
That's correct.
That's what we have to spend yet, okay. And then what's below that is our expenditures to date. If I look at the ending balance,
Yes.
okay. All right, just wanted to make sure that's where I was. So in terms of, so the amended budget is basically what adds up to what we have available. So the difference between the ending balance and amended budget is what we had spent.
Correct.
And where I was getting a little confused is, if we have an amended budget of 2,000, let's look at expenditures. The first one, salaries, park commission. If we have an amended budget of 2,000 and an ending balance of 1,050, how do we get the 440 out of that?
I'm sorry, 440?
Yeah, I don't see
On
that.
the
So if
he's
you look
talking about
under
on the balance.
As of 3/31/2024. So the balance under expenditures, it's got a $440 on balance. It's got a 2025 amended budget of 2,000, and it's got an ending balance of 1,050.
Under the balance for 3/31/24, I believe that's the spending throughout,
That was last year?
no, I believe that, yeah, actually, yeah,
So that is
Correct.
correct, the 2024 is correct?
correct.
Okay, all right, got it. But okay. So really, we spent $950 for 2025.
Where are you seeing the 950, I'm sorry?
The difference between the 1,050 and 2,000.
Oh,
you-
correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so that's, okay, all right,
Yeah,
got it, all right. So then likewise, when you take a look at the amended budget, it says we have 27,000 and change to spend.
yep.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to make sure I understand it before I
Yeah.
say something stupid, which I
Yeah.
normally do, but,
No, you're
Not
fine.
at all.
okay, good, thank you.
No problem.
Does anyone else have any questions?
So, I mean, to beat a dead horse, right, there's been a lot of discussions about the parks, right? You know, and the ball field, and we've got drainage issues and this and that. And do we have a strong position as a Parks Commission that we want to get those things fixed? And that we've communicated that well enough to the board? I mean, there's a lot of batting around going on, and I just don't feel comfortable that we have a real strong position. I went through the five-year plan, and it, you know, we really don't have something that says this is what we want to do in terms of, now, I'm not sure we do want to do it, but is the ballparks getting all the, you know, the issues with the water, is all that something that we want to do? And if it is, do we need to communicate that to the board so we can get something in budgeted? And I know that they're going to have some people come out and take a look at what it would take to do that. I mean, do we need to do something as a board to tell the trustees that, hey, this is what we're serious about, and we want to look at that for next year or whatever?
That's actually kind of what we're in the process of doing.
Okay, all
Right
right.
now. So we have prioritized things. Dog park's one of them, moving that water off of there, out of
Okay.
there. We're waiting to get that surveyed. But we were in the middle of hiring a couple of engineering firms at the same time, so we had to wait.
Right.
So we had to get in line. And we are in line, and they are aware.
So I mean-
So dog parks are a priority. I'm going to address them because you.
Good, yeah, sure.
Dog parks are a priority. Baseball parks, we thought they were being maintained a little bit better than they were, so we kind of got a little bit caught off guard. And we also found someone that wanted to bring their league in, back in.
Right.
So now we're just kind of, we're working on our feet with this one right now. So
Right.
this has all just come up within the last,
2 months.
yeah,
Right,
meeting and a half.
right.
So
Okay.
we're trying to get to the front of that because we do prioritize that because everyone on this board finds that as a finds that to be a priority.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was feeling too. Just being new, I wanted to make sure I had my head in the
With
right
regards to
place.
water moving, we're talking about the parks, I mean, if we're talking about the dog park, then yeah, we are
Ongoing issue.
working on that. But as far as the baseball diamonds, I don't think we're having a problem with
We're
water.
not aware there was,
See,
haven't heard anything.
I guess I had heard that before, maybe I
That
wasn't.
may come up, but I haven't heard anything
Okay,
about that.
okay, so we haven't had an issue with them flooding or anything,
Not-
it's all been.
not to my
with the
knowledge, not
dog.
to this
Good,
point.
okay, all
I
right.
think we have flooded before when Bell River flooded.
Yeah.
They most
Oh,
certainly
okay.
have.
Well, yeah, right. So, and then the board is aware that, I mean, these are priorities with us?
So, here's the thing, we had a workshop prior to our last board meeting, and we talked about a lot of the stuff. What they want, I guess, at the next meeting, I'm probably gonna, I did bring the joint workshop idea up, but they want to know what it is we're gonna be, they want to have an agenda, I guess. And so, I mean, I think, what I mentioned was baseball fields, recreation activities. I mean, I've heard that from a lot of, like, parents in the community that are kind of wanting, to have that again. And then, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, the playscape. But,
Yeah,
I mean, that's a big one. And I think that we have a lot of money in our capital improvement fund, and we're kind of in the middle of going through our, I guess, our capital improvement plan to see what needs to be done, whether it's water, sewer lines, or, whatever.
Sure.
But we have a new DPW building going up, so I mean, it's not just the parks, but I mean, the parks are gonna be a large part of that. And if things are, allegedly, they've had the engineers looking at the playscape, the current one, and if it's not in safe condition, they're gonna take it down. So if that's the case, it's not gonna exist. So I mean, we need to figure something out, obviously, but.
but you're comfortable that you know what our priorities are?
I think those three things, well, the recreation thing is kind of what I've heard in the community, but I mean, from you guys, I've heard the ball diamonds, the dog park, obviously.
Yep.
Things that are in the 5-year plan, and then the playscape.
I would say communication as well.
What's that?
Communication.
Communication.
Seems to be getting a little bit better. I'd like to see what happens after this workshop that we do all together.
And that being, communication being what, with the community or,
No, amongst.
oh, between us?
Different boards, different
Not the
members.
commissioners, just,
Intercommission?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Can we go back to the
Back to what?
financial report
Oh,
first?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Got off on a tangent there.
Well, I mean, I think it's
that's-
Well, that was
important.
part of it, so it kind of
Well,
just,
yeah.
sorry. All right. Does anyone else have any questions regarding the financial reports for approval of the bills?
so should we make a motion?
Motion to,
Definitely.
So I make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second that motion.
Now we need roll call.
Aye.
Evelyn, would you please do the honors of roll call?
Yes,
Do you have the sheet?
please.
Thank you.
Yep. Chairperson, Chairperson Don Wills.
here.
Yes or no?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Secretary Kizran.
Yes.
Commissioner Betty Sharp.
Yes.
Commissioner Fred Sharp.
Yes,
Commissioner Bill Westerhoff.
Yes.
And Commissioner Evelyn, yes.
No nays, all in favor, ayes.
Yeah.
So we're good.
This is a long one.
In regards to the
As-
communications, did you guys get the communications memo?
I did,
do I have
You
it?
did?
and I've
That's
actually read it a couple
Yes,
times.
just,
Oh,
And you probably have to read it a few times, 'cause it's
because
pretty.
I don't think, maybe I got it and it's mixed up in my email.
No, it's different than, this one's different than what I had.
This is different than what you had? Interesting.
Well, let me see what
So,
Do you have one?
yeah.
it should be in your
Yeah.
packet.
Yeah, I'm just, because I did not, I assumed I didn't get this, but I guess that's in my email. But the Sharps are saying that it's not the same as the one in the email, so there are some inconsistencies then?
let me see.
No,
Does yours start with-
as far as
does it
I'm
start
here,
with
right, as far as I'm reading, everything I see here, I've read in one of those communications. Yeah. No, I've seen the whole thing. So, it came in at 3:31 PM today,
Maybe that's why I didn't see it.
so.
That might
That's
be why I
probably
didn't
why.
see it either.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was like, I mean,
Something I think needs to be suggested is these agendas should be out like at least 4 days before the meeting. and there's a thing in the back where you can pick it up, but I mean, that's something I think you guys should suggest or ask for,
Yeah.
so that we're not getting it at the meeting. I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
'cause-
we didn't,
Yeah.
I completely agree, Alan, because I have requested park manager's report at least a couple days in advance, so I have time. I don't have time during the day to like look at these, like, go through the stuff.
Right,
It's a
'cause
lot.
it takes a while just to get to it, just to
Yeah,
find
yeah.
it. You're reading several
And this is why I was like,
attachments, so, yeah. I got
Yeah,
it.
and this is why I assumed I didn't get it, because, yeah, I think that we definitely, that's also part of the communications.
Either maybe the Friday before the Wednesday meeting, does that sound about right? Like if you get it,
Yeah, we would have the
Yeah,
weekend to.
that'd be perfect.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yes.
So I'm assuming these communications are taking the place of park manager's report for some reason?
No, there's park manager's report as well.
Yeah, there is, I did get that.
It's short, it's one page.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, thank you. I will find it in my packet.
I don't have it either.
Start with the,
I'm stumbling trying to find
wait
it
a
for you
minute,
right
yeah,
now.
look at that one.
Is it not in the package?
I don't believe I received the park manager's report.
There were like 4 attachments to an email.
yep,
It starts
it was in that
It did
email.
come
And
in
it was
email,
in
but
there,
not in the
yeah.
But yeah, it's not in our
Sorry, guys.
packets.
want me
Actually,
to
it was.
read it?
No.
Yeah.
It was in the email.
Yeah, yeah,
Here, I
okay.
can open it too for you.
Alan's gonna read it.
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay, thank you, Alan.
Freedom Memorial Manor, no updates currently. Bell River Park, we intend to install a ADA accessible portable toilet this season. I am seeking sponsor funding for the unit as I did in 2023 with the Rivera toilet. There are several kayak groups that tour the Bell River using our launch at their starting point. 3 tire blocks will be installed that are needed in parking spots, and our park sign with hours reinstalled as it was broken off. River Park. Township manager is working with the engineers on River Park upgrades, the grant, that is. Rivera Park,
And that is for what? That was,
do you know where the old Marwood was? Right across from there. That
Okay,
park, that's
okay.
right there. Rivera Park, 88 portable toilet to be delivered May 1st, Carl's Septic at $195 a month, removed on or near October 31st. East China Park, this is where most of the stuff is. Electrical upgrades, lighting installation, all current requests completed. Park office, foam was installed. DPW to begin installing wall paneling over foam this week. Pickleball courts request Parks Commission to revisit this ongoing topic. Estimate provided in 2024 for crack repairs. There are more cracks this year. These courts are high use. Short-term and long-term goals need to be set for these courts. I have recommended relocation with expansion for long-term. Short-term, make them playable and safe. Locomotive, I have met and discussed locations with Bill Feelhauer at East China Park. I am including a map of 2 choice locations with explanations of chosen locations. Service driveway, our service driveway from Recor dumpster to shop building, emergency weather siren, and over the culvert to softball needs to be replaced. This was hard-packed ground with soil/grass over to appear to be lawn. It is now insufficient to hold the weight of service vehicles, DPW equipment that needs to have access to the siren and utilities at the park building. The drive is no longer supporting the weight of our Kubota utility vehicle. I will be getting estimates and we'll discuss possible funding options with the township for this project, currently getting prices. Parks Appreciation Day, something that was talked about last month. Planning in progress for the event. Seeking sponsors to help fund this event and make it a success. I recommend this event be moved to May 31st so we have adequate time to seek funding and advertise the event. We have been included in, with China Township's grant for a dumpster as we were last year, so that's good news. We are still wanting to include tree giveaways, snack table, park cleanup, community service to assist with planned projects within East China Park, as well as other activities. Daily administrative duties, operations, maintenance completed as normal or as requested, attending meetings with the Township Management Parks Commission as requested. Training, 2 parks employees and I attended a day of safety training in Oakland Township last Friday. Safety training and maintenance training will be requested as opportunities arise, which will be, I'm assuming, taken care of by the township because that's a safety thing. We made excellent connections with other communities and have been invited to participate in St. Clair County's employee training. I will be attending another safety conference with 4 other township employees April 15th, therefore unable to attend the Parks Commission meeting. Kayak launch installed April 14th. I had KBE hoist provide a full safety check on the dock and hardware and asked if any updates / recommendations were necessary. Only 1 bolt was needed and waiting to hear if any upgrades are recommended. And lastly, preparations for opening day, unstacking tables, unlocking pavilions, dog park, and trail maintenance, getting water onto all buildings and bottle fillers, litter cleanup, etc. So,
She's on it.
yeah.
Good for her.
Okay, based upon the Parks Manager's report, I make a motion to move the Park Appreciation Day to May 31st.
I'll
I'll
second it. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, no nays.
I'm sorry, there's one more thing with the communications memo.
Okay, back to communications.
They're requesting that we vote and approve a porta john, the Bell River kayak launch. They can pull it out of our 2008 budget. If we don't have it there, then they can get it from the recreation budget.
What do you mean 2008?
208.
Oh, 208, I was like,
I'm sorry.
no worries. All right, 208 fund.
Just adding a zero in there.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Well,
that
also,
is June 14th.
but also they're saying they're seeking a sponsor funding for the unit. Is that the same location?
Yes.
Okay.
So now I'm confused.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
what I saw her, what she asked us to do was to,
Which, are you on the first one?
Bell River Park?
Communications memo?
yes,
Yeah, the one you just read.
Okay.
under other.
Oh, I got you.
I'm on the wrong one.
Oh, that one.
I could have sworn I saw something in there where she was asking us to vote on approving it, not providing funding, but just approving it, and then we could, I don't know.
Okay.
So she's saying
We have
she needs a
until-
porta potty and she just wants us to approve it.
Yeah,
Easy enough.
Okay, okay, I'm good.
so, do we call
Go
a
ahead,
vote?
kids run.
Oh,
You're good at it.
I make a motion, what is this now again?
This is
Oh, what do I
for,
have a reading? Okay,
So what are we
this is
responding
the
to
date.
on here?
yes.
Other?
We're responding to communications memo under other. Blue Ways of St. Clair are going to be holding a kayak event Saturday, June 14th.
So then we are, oh, okay, so I make a motion to,
I don't know
hold.
that, I don't know that they're asking for it because
That's
Manager has requested having a porta john
at the site, and they
At the
want us
site.
to fund,
that we install one this year. If not, in the 208 budget, we can take it out of there.
I would say just leave it be, because
Still got
If-
time. We can hold
Well,
off.
not only that, but if it's not in your budget, which it might be tight this
No,
year.
they're gonna take it out of
We
the
can just take it
208.
out of the recreation budget, which we're not spending anything on that anyway, so I would just leave it be.
Okay.
You heard, man.
Okay, so can we please put that in the minutes, that from the request of a township liaison, this was recommended? And that the recreation, that if any funds are going to be utilized, it's going to be utilized from the recreation funds. Thank you.
There you go. Okay, do I need to move to approve the park manager's report?
No, we don't need
No, we don't need
to.
to approve
Okay,
it. We
so
discussed it,
move
so we're
on.
good.
All right, then let's move on to the township liaison report.
I think we pretty much talked about everything I was gonna say earlier, about the workshop that the township board had. Are there any questions or anything? I mean, there's not really much going on. We're about to start with the DPW building at some point, but other than that, there's not really anything major going on.
When exactly, do you guys have like a time in mind, a date in mind, when you do want us to all get together?
Probably, it's gonna be discussed at our next meeting, so probably the meeting after that, so like the second meeting in May,
So May 12th, potentially?
if that's the third Monday in May.
Oh, third Monday, okay,
Yeah.
so that would be May 19th?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
And it'd probably be an hour before our meeting, so 6 o'clock.
okay. And, I guess in terms of communication, the only other thing I'd like to add is the agenda should have the potential to move things around, and even if it's sent like Monday, I think that should be okay.
What's
Right?
that?
So you know how we mentioned that communications would also be like an itinerary, or excuse me, a part of the discussion. Like the packet, maybe just having the other necessary details, or at least the park manager's report the week before, like Friday. I
Oh,
think
yeah, yeah.
that's-
But that hopefully, that issue hopefully will be fixed like tomorrow, so.
And then
that-
if they have to update it, that's
Yeah,
one
Right,
thing.
right.
You know?
But just so that you guys have it ahead of time, yeah.
It'd be smoother.
Yep.
13, 6 PM.
oh, actually, I did have a question.
Sure.
How much is in the recreation budget?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I'll get it tonight though, when I go home.
Okay, okay. Okay, all right, thank you.
Should be a
Yep.
bunch.
What's that?
Should be a bunch.
Yeah,
limited.
and I think, well, yeah.
Who directs the recreation?
Nobody
Who's in
currently.
charge of that? There's nobody?
There's currently, within ever since COVID, it's kind of went by the wayside, but then the township took it away from the park commission, and they were gonna do something and then never did, so it kind of fizzled out. It just,
Okay, so the money, I mean,
The money's there, but
Money's there,
people
but
to facilitate
but
it or
nobody's
not.
deciding how to use that money at this point?
yeah.
Should it come back to the Parks Commission, or?
That's a discussion
It's
we
something
all
that's been
should.
batted around.
That's still in the works.
It was very interesting when it was under parks. I wish the meetings were recorded then.
All right, if we can, I'd like to move on to new business.
Yes, please.
And first line is restoration of ball diamonds this year by an outside firm. I haven't even considered finding an outside firm. I mean, is that something the township is going to,
An outside firm for what, I'm sorry?
for renovating the ball diamonds?
I don't know how they got a
Mm-hmm.
price right now, but well, no pun intended, but
Who got a
the ballpark of it is like 30 grand a piece per,
What?
So someone actually
allegedly.
shopped this a little bit already?
Wow.
That board did?
Yeah, there's a memo here from
Yeah.
Dwayne Loper explaining that.
Yep.
So they've had Wade Trim come out and
Yep.
look at them.
But like, I didn't know there was an issue with them to begin with, so this is very surprising.
Well, in the past, they spent about that kind of money for updates and renovating throughout, so I don't necessarily think that that's unreasonable from looking at the past records.
Well, they've been,
But-
not been used for several years,
Right.
so, you know, things tend to really deteriorate if they're not being kept up right, so.
How many do we have?
We've got the 2 softball fields over there, then we have a couple of baseball fields over here. So I don't know exactly what, you know, I know the softball fields we've talked about bringing back. I'm not
Right,
sure if
right.
there's a request for the baseball fields or anyone would use them at this point, but at least
They're
the
in
2
disrepair.
softball fields.
Yeah, you couldn't use them.
Well, I mean, if
Practice,
they wanted to
maybe.
update them, you know, to bring them back, but I don't know if anyone would, if there's any use for them at this point.
In respect to that, I was thinking it'd be nice if we could work something out where with the, putting it on the marquee, just advertising that the diamonds are available. But I think before we do any of that, we have to do quite a bit more research, but I would love to see that up there. I think that'd help with letting the teams know that we're out there and available again. But it starts with
Well,
the repair, so who's
right.
gonna be responsible, and what budget would that come out of now?
You guys don't have it in your budget, so it would have to come from the township board if it was to
If
be done.
approved.
And who's going to get the quotes?
Dwayne and the engineering firm. Yeah.
Has there been any discussion on your part at the board about
Yep,
doing that?
yep, that
Okay.
was at our last workshop, but I think it's something that is probably gonna have to be brought up in the joint
Yeah.
meeting, because I don't know if a lot of them realize, I think, like myself, obviously, because I'm here, but, and the supervisor, I think, is aware of, like, the interest, but it's a matter of, is it worth it? Like, do we wanna do that, or, yeah, but it's just,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think if it brings more people in the park, I think it's a good idea, but,
Oh, definitely.
For sure.
yeah, yeah,
Well, that's the majority of the park.
yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I meant about the marquee. I'd like to just to get some interest, and then, you know, if we could, right now, I don't know if anyone's interested at all in playing on the ball diamonds, on the hardball diamonds, but we found interest in the softball diamonds, so it'd be, I don't know, maybe something quite vague regarding.
The only problem is if we put that on there now, I'm worried that people would come in and go, hey, we want to use it, and it's like, yeah, but here's the problem, it's not usable.
Not
It's like, so
ready,
it's,
Not ready till maybe next
Like-
season.
but I think.
Or
the num-
something, maybe interest in,
Well,
you know, something like that.
Something that's interesting to read, what, I know you've read it before, I think Evelyn's read it before, but for the new people, there was a survey done, there was like, I can't remember how many, it was like 300 people out of 3,000 people in East China, but there was like 300 people, and the ball diamonds were something that was brought up a lot, so it's like, so,
Yeah.
The ball diamonds in the dog park.
right, yeah, so.
Playscape and glass.
Are the
splash
baseball
pad was
diamonds
on there.
convertible to softball diamond? I mean,
Yeah, well, they've used, the front field has more been used as a practice field in the
Right.
past for baseball and softball. It's a smaller field.
right,
The back one has been used for men's softball in the past. I used to play out there years
Right.
ago. But more recently, it was a baseball field for travel teams, you know.
The back one On the south side?
The deep, yeah,
Okay.
back here,
Right,
right?
so southwest one?
Yes, yeah.
Did the high school ever use it, or they just use their own?
You know, yeah, they just use their own. At one point, Cardinal Mooney did play out here for a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't do it anymore, but yeah, they did use it for a while, so.
Are the
can be used for
backstops and all
baseball.
that in good shape?
Pardon
Are
me?
the backstops and the dugouts in good shape? Is it just overgrown? Is that all?
Yeah,
Is it
I
just
haven't
grading
checked
and
it out
all
that
that?
carefully to know.
You know,
Are you planning on
I'll
going
answer
and
those
checking them out?
Pardon me?
Are you planning on going and checking
Oh,
them
I
out?
can, I'm out here a lot, so.
If
I
you
could
do,
look
may
at
I please accompany you?
it. Oh, I don't care, yeah.
I feel like we all need to do like a little field trip
I think we should
Well,
as
maybe,
well.
yeah, we
Because-
could do that before a meeting.
to like have a visual. Traditionally, I know Deanna would also share pictures in the past to show us the work that needs to be done, and it gave a nice like a visualization. So,
Yeah.
but if you are planning on, or we all could,
Oh, well,
whatever
yeah, that might
works
be a
with
good
everyone.
thing for all of us to do.
I have a
Yes.
suggestion that's probably gonna encapsulate the ball diamonds as well. The gentleman that provided those catalogs for the playscape in the main park would like to meet us one day. Possibly the liaison, anyone that wants to go there. Meet us there and just have a discussion, find out what it is we want. Kind of throw some numbers by us, just, off the top of his head, so we kind of have an idea of what we're doing. We'll throw ideas at him, so that's why you have books. As far as numbers go, it's all in the, 200,000 range, 100 to 500,000, so somewhere around there.
And he would prefer that we meet him
He
like on
would.
site, or would he prefer to come to the meeting and talk to us?
The meetings, he'll come to a meeting once it's we're a little more
Once we know what we want.
farther down, farther along in the process. He's got young children that are in sports, and their
Okay, that makes
Wednesday night is
sense.
very bad for him, so.
Yeah.
Can I ask another question, though? So we got an email from the supervisor that kind of admonished us not to have meetings outside of here, right? I mean, it said your
did?
meetings are subject to open meeting act and such, conducted according to its rules. No conversations about park business between PC members should be had outside the meeting, including after adjournment.
I don't
So would we
know-
set up a formal meeting?
I don't know if he's referring to emails that are going back and forth, but I mean, I think as long as informational things are pushed out there and you're not responding, reply all and
Then we're
saying,
okay.
He's
Hey,
referring to the handbook. He's going by the handbook. So if you just go by the handbook, and you can see that there are certain things you can talk about outside of the.
Well, it seems like
room.
you ought to be able to plan.
Then that's one of-
saying
that's
what
one
I've
of-
read.
as long,
That's one
as
of
long
them.
as you're not, as long
Can't-
as all of you guys aren't going, hey, let's go to Don's for a barbecue and we're gonna,
Talk about this vote we're getting ready.
as long as you're not
You
doing
can't do
that and
that.
taking a poll of people, that's not allowed, like straw polling and stuff like that, but.
But you got to go do planning.
But I mean,
Right.
say
yes.
Okay.
Pam calls you and says, hey, just so you know, heads up, this is coming up, or we need to start worrying about the playscape, or, that's okay.
So
I
we're
mean,
good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just want to make sure, because I was
Yeah,
going what I read.
yeah,
Interesting.
That's a good question.
yeah.
But there is a handbook.
was
It's
interesting.
been provided to all of us. I don't know.
Yeah, they got it, because that's, they're the ones
Yeah,
that
yeah.
got the color one.
Oh, no,
that
is
was
he
the
talking about the Open Meetings Act?
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, no.
Oh, and speaking of pictures, I think in this communications, they said something about pictures of the ball fields that Matthew, the professional landscape architect, took with Wade Trim. I would like to see those photos. And then I believe that's one thing. And I think the second thing is Deanna mentioned in her park manager's report about photos of where the locomotive, like two different
I
locations.
saw that too.
And I just looked at it right now. I didn't get those pictures. Did anyone else?
I didn't get an
Any?
attachment.
Yeah.
No, I
okay.
didn't.
Okay, all right. So, okay, we're all, okay. So we are missing
So we'd like to see
photos and more.
those photos.
Yes, please. Yes. Okay.
I think I asked this question before, but is that like the same locomotive that's up in Marysville? Kind of
no.
idea?
It's a diesel one from this plant over, old coal plant.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so it's more modern?
Yeah, correct,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's not as cool, but
It's cool for
Still
all.
a train.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
piece of history.
Yeah.
we're very excited for it.
Alan, can I ask a question as well? You mentioned $30,000 per ballpark. Did that come out of this?
No.
from Dwayne, or?
I don't think it was in that.
Yeah, it wasn't mentioned here, but where did you come up, where did that figure come from?
There were emails going back and forth between myself and the supervisor, and it was also said at our workshop. That's,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay,
it's in my head.
all right.
Does that seem high to anybody?
Yeah, it seems very high, but at the same time, when they built when they actually, because I was going through the old, like, master plans that they had, it was like 100-something thousand for each one,
I
like,
thought it was
No kidding.
75.
Wow.
To put in a
thought it was
ballpark. But they're talking about
7,500.
drainage out there too, so that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, but
Yeah.
we were just talking about, we don't think we need the drainage, right?
This is very new.
I said I was unaware.
I don't know what's
Of any
required.
drainage
I don't know what's.
So I'm going back 2 meetings, we
Right,
talked about
But
it.
if you recall, the park manager, township manager, they wanted to put the dog park there because
Right,
there are no
right.
drainage issues.
There you go.
And now it's very confusing because now we are being told there are drainage issues.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is, just, it's confusing, yeah.
Well,
Right,
we
so-
didn't worry about it before, and we had softball there, right?
Yeah, for
So-
20-plus years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we are seeing a ghost, huh? All right,
Yeah. It's a mystery.
okay.
Okay, would you like to?
Move on to the power washing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute, where are you
Wait,
at?
I'm sorry, I'm still in new business.
Yes, but
Okay,
the restoration
I-
of the ball diamonds, so what are we doing with that then?
We have to kind of wait, don't we?
Yeah, we're on
until
a wait and see.
Yeah, because we're in the middle of waiting for them to come back and tell us what's going on.
No, I thought we were going to have a joint meeting with the trustees.
Yep.
And that's where we'll bring
At
it
some
up.
point, probably in May, I'm thinking, but what we were gonna set a date at the last meeting for our next meeting, but then they were like, they wanted to know what it's gonna be about. And so, I think it's and just to be clear, ball diamonds, playscape, communication, recreation, does that sound about right?
Yep.
Okay.
And we don't have anything to do with that in terms of cost and that? I mean, do we
Well-
need to do any planning on our end?
There's not really anything you can do without us approving the budget, so it's
I
gonna be.
understand, but getting how much the budget is
Right, it's,
to get the plan together.
I would say it's probably gonna have to come from us. It's probably, because there's nothing really you guys can do.
Us being the
at least-
trustees. So you have somebody that you're going to have go out there and give you a quote and,
Probably. I mean, it's just, I think if you guys come in strong and say, we want this, and have a general idea of what you want, like, and at that point, it would be our decision, because it's not in your budget. It's,
Right.
Yeah.
so what do we need to do? Do we need to put a statement that we strongly support the fields?
probably, yeah.
maybe-
Between now and that, I would say that's probably a good idea. I don't know if you guys, do you guys meet before our,
It's going to be right after. So the
okay,
suggested date you mentioned, May 16th, our meeting would be 2 days later.
okay. So
Should-
I would say maybe have Pam or somebody else, maybe Don, somebody craft together just a statement of what you want, and then, and also, at this meeting, unlike the last one, I think one person speaking at a time, but not saying anybody, not mentioning any names, but it was just kind of, yeah, but,
We didn't have an agenda, though.
correct, yeah, yeah,
This time it's going to be a lot more, hopefully.
yeah, organized.
So we need a communication to the trustees from the park commission by,
I
Our
would say
chairperson.
By.
No, I mean a date,
I
yeah.
would say by that meeting, I mean, it could be at that meeting.
by your next meeting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, not the next meeting, but the joint session that we're going to be.
Okay, okay,
Aiming
all right.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. I'm just
yeah,
trying to get it straight in my head.
yeah,
And we probably ought to have that in our minutes too, right?
yeah, yep.
Oh, yeah, we could probably put that in the township liaison report, that there are discussions about having a potential joint meeting on May 16th.
It would have been
Which would-
19.
Pardon? And which is going to be,
16th, the
Five?
Friday,
sorry, May,
13th, the Tuesday.
With a statement of support by the Park
May,
Commission for the.
sorry, I'm so sorry, May 12th. No, May 19th. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. It was going to
Poor
be May
Jack.
19th, a Monday.
You got that, Jack?
Sorry, Jackie. May 19th, Monday, which would be an hour before the township board meeting. And it would be at 6 PM or, right?
Here's the only thing that seems odd about that is right now you got Dwayne, who is, looking into it, the public services. If he doesn't have an answer on how much, how can we go forward and say, hey, this is what we want? I think
Right.
the league year has already started. They said they couldn't, we couldn't get it together for 25. So we have a couple months to let Dwayne do his job, get those numbers to us, then us say, okay, is this feasible, is this all right? And then ask to do a joint.
See, that's different than what I just heard.
Yeah.
Because I
maybe-
just heard that you were going to get the quotes.
Well, not me, I'm not.
Well,
that's way
the
above my
trustee
pay grade.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
but like
Who's
It'd be-
Dwayne work for? Does he work?
for us.
The township.
He's
Township.
the township's Director of Public Services.
Gotcha. All right.
So
I didn't
he's-
know his title, but,
Yeah, yeah.
the public guy.
And
You
he
make a
works,
really good point, though. I mean, we're not,
Yeah.
don't need to
He
bust a
just-
hump
Right,
to
He
do
just
this,
met
right?
with, he just met April 11th, so that's
Yeah.
not a lot
True.
of
Yeah,
time.
right,
It takes-
right.
Take some time to put that information
Yeah.
together.
okay,
Correct.
I see, yeah, yeah. So
It's
let's-
just something we should follow up on by maybe July's meeting, so
Okay.
that they still
Yeah.
have a few months.
And I mean,
to-
it's probably not something that's going to be done this year anyway. It's going to be something that's probably done next year.
But it's
at the beginning
something-
of the year.
How can it be done next
Do we
year
need
if
a-
baseball starts in May?
Yeah.
I mean, it has to really kind of be done somewhere
Push
in
for
the
this
fall
year.
or I can't
Yes.
believe early spring.
Yeah,
We have to talk about it
Yeah,
this year,
yeah.
seriously.
Yeah,
We should go over and take a look at the fields, because
Yes.
we'll have to make a decision as to, he's asked for some things in here to be looked at, but we may decide that those things aren't necessary. We may not have to expend the money on those things.
Like the drainage.
Like the drainage, yeah.
We can do our next month's meeting as a field trip over there, meet at the pavilion at 7 o'clock, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
We can do that and
Weather
meet there and
permitting.
have our meeting there.
that's a good idea.
Yeah. That
Let's
way
just do
we'll
that.
have our agenda, we can walk around, this is the ballpark we'll talk about, this is the blah, blah. So we
Okay.
do that once in a while,
Yeah,
just to,
I like that idea.
in another month, maybe Dwayne could get some prices for us, or we, like you said, we'll know how severe we want to go with it.
So then scratch the joint meeting info for now.
It's not a
Scratch the joint
scratch,
meeting.
yeah, it's,
Postponed until further,
I wouldn't talk about the joint meeting yet, because we don't have any number, we don't have anything yet, but, do you know what I mean? We don't want to meet with you until
Yeah.
we know what's going on. That way we can make it short, sweet, and,
yeah.
we're sitting between two people, the public works man and then the board, so.
so the public person, Dwayne, is he like, I'm confused, is he working with the township manager, or how is that, I'm confused about the hierarchy here.
It would be the township manager and then him.
Okay.
I know that Pam put the request in, and he was pretty quick about getting
Yeah.
an answer. So I
Yeah.
think our chairperson can still directly, request things, and they
Yeah.
put it on but, yeah.
Okay, sweet.
I'm just, as I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking we're meeting too soon.
Yeah. Thank
If you want an answer and you want it, I'd like to know before I go in, what's going on.
Of course, we want to get it done soon enough that we can tell the community that, hey, this is going to be available next year,
Yeah.
right? The communication side.
Yes.
Can you still express our support for the project? when we
Absolutely,
meet next time?
absolutely.
This is
And that
something
we
we're
are-
really-
Yep,
And that we're waiting on Dwayne to follow up with, price list,
yep,
Thank you.
yeah.
yep.
Are you gonna get all the negatives out of the way first? I see the power washing one.
Well, first I'm gonna ask if everyone is comfortable that we've gone as far as we can go with restoration of all diamonds. Before we move on to
I
the
feel
next.
comfortable.
Okay. And then, per new business agenda, possible vote on playscape replacements. I'm sorry, I don't feel like we're there yet. So, like I said, I would love for you guys to just go through those catalogs, find stuff that you like in there. Like, it just, so we all have a general idea, you know, just a couple of pages maybe, couple of
I have all
project.
mine, all my little stickies.
Good, good, good.
I did a field trip and went to different parks in St. Clair County and noticed lots of things. But I mostly noticed kids were on the swings,
They always go to the swing.
always on the swings, very little. But I was thinking, all right, we should probably have things for like the 2 to 10-year-olds and then the maybe 10 to 14-year-olds or however age level. But climbing's always a big deal. Train would be a good idea for that. Maybe wall climbing, swings. I did notice St. Clair's is sweet. They do have both the composite wood on a lot of it, but they do have regular wood also. And I'm thinking, ooh, maintenance. But yeah, that's what I noticed mostly is that all kids were on the swings. So I think maybe well-spent money on nice metal swings would be, you can't go wrong on that. And I noticed ours are wood, so. And I think bonfire would be a good idea.
Well, perhaps next meeting,
What in the middle
when we
swing?
meet at the park, we can
Yeah.
address that as well. When
We
we go
did
over
the
there, take a
original
look.
playscape. The architect who we hired went into the schools and asked the kids what they were interested in, had them make drawings and things, and then they incorporated all of that into the final design.
It's very
And I'm
good.
not saying we have to do that, because that was a lot of
Yeah.
time and effort.
Yeah.
But I did look at the survey that was done, and there's some ideas from parents in here of what they'd like to see out there. And then I noticed too that, Cindy in this grant thing said that one of the requirements is that you would need to have some public input, so you can get some more ideas there as well. So, but probably a lot of the basic things that we grew up with would be the great thing, and still great things to have on a playground, yeah.
Do we have a method to get a survey out to the folks?
I think so,
The
yeah.
township
Township's been
does.
pretty good with all
Yeah.
of that so far.
We just
Well,
had
they just
one.
had
Come up
one,
with
We
that.
yeah.
just had one October of '24, I think that's pretty, and we did that knowing that this year was the year we were gonna talk about the playscape, so.
Okay, good.
I think we've already done that-ish, like that's one of the checks, did that.
We had that one, and then do you remember what year the big one? I can't remember, I think it was 23?
23, I think
Okay,
it was
okay.
also, yeah.
Yeah,
2 or 23, yeah.
and there was a ton of people that,
Yeah.
I was shocked how many people actually responded.
Yeah. Give them the right idea, or the right topic.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Does everyone, we can bring up the playscape at our next meeting, when we're at the park. How's
On
that
the
sound?
site.
All
Okay.
right.
Next, dog park update.
You're not gonna talk about the power washing?
Oh, I'm sorry. Without our township manager here, I
Not
don't
the ma-
see where
yeah.
we can go with.
I agree with
power
you.
washing, so I don't.
I agree.
See spending.
We'll table that for next month, maybe?
Yes.
when she's here.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overlook
For
it.
the
been
Sharps,
very
who weren't
opinionated
here
on
last month,
Power washing.
she had given us the power wash, like, things that she wants to spend money on, and power washing, we were all kind of like, I think it was around 11,000. And when I looked at back years ago, so I want to know, is there a company or why is it? Yeah, so we need to talk to her, so, yeah. Maybe it was 16, I can't remember, it just was a little bit, yeah. We all kind of was like, what exactly?
Right, they used to do it in the past. It was done in-house in the past. And
Well, we think it was, I mean,
we're
because
trying
there
to
was
get to the
no
bottom of all
bill
of it.
anywhere.
Just to find out exactly how we can facilitate it, schedule, put it on a schedule somehow, and then if we can afford it. So, I mean, just, without her here, I don't see where we can go with that, so.
Okay.
And I would seriously look at your budget, and if you guys don't think, because it's pretty bare bones again, like last year,
It
if
is.
you don't think that you can
I already know.
manage it, then tell the township, and then at that point. Because that is a huge
Right.
expense, so.
I mean, if there's some emergency things where there's mold or something, but other than that, I don't see,
Was this at the main park?
the main park.
Oh, like the pickleball courts or?
Just
the courts
things,
over there?
right? Just anything that needs it, or?
Sidewalks were
She had a
mentioned.
list, yeah.
Yeah, it was around the bathrooms.
Some are
and
specific.
Okay.
That main area.
I think it's last month's
It was last month's.
Last month's,
Manager's report.
park manager report. If
That
you go
too,
and
yes.
review that, you'll find all the
Okay,
information you
okay,
need.
I will.
Okay.
That's fine.
And we tabled it for this month because she was not here last month, so.
Yeah.
So it's tabled. Till next one.
Okay.
Please keep
Old
discussion.
business, now we're in old business. We already discussed the playscape replacement discussion.
Can I have one more question there, because looking through what Dwayne had come up with, he said it was a suggestion to hire a firm to come in to determine whether the equipment is safe or not.
Oh.
Has anything been done with that? I mean, how has that been determined at this point, up to this point?
So when Deanne, the park manager, was here,
Yeah.
she said that it was well beyond its useful life.
But
What
kids are
was-
still playing over there, so
Playscape.
if it's not safe, should we?
Well, she keeps removing stuff, and they're not replacing it.
Okay.
Like, so it's getting smaller and smaller, and if there was something bad, or the nails, they take care of it. But that's why we're doing the playscape for next year.
Okay,
Yeah,
so she's
because she is.
determining that at this point.
Dwayne came in after, he's kind of new, so I think he
Okay.
just did a very good report, but we already kind of have a report
Oh,
on it.
okay, all right.
Did we talk enough about the pickleball courts?
We actually didn't talk anything about the pickleball courts today. We did discuss it last year.
Yeah, and we need Deanna for it, kind of.
Actually, what we need are numbers. How much to repair it? We got a price last year. We don't know what that price is. So I'd like to see that, and if it's still valid.
And that's also in
this
our
year?
5-year.
That's part of our five-year
Five-year
program
plan
too, but
as
it's
well.
not for
Yeah.
like another year or two.
Yeah.
So again, she kind of needs to be here for that. I think.
Okay, thanks.
She's tied up in a meeting, or training, so we'll,
Okay.
hopefully next month she'll be able to make it.
Okay, old business dog park update?
I don't know very much about where we are with that dog park. Do you, Ellen, do you have anything?
I don't have any information on that myself, no.
We're just waiting on the survey, as far as I know, and we already have selected someone to do it, and the phase, or there was 2, 3, 4, or 5 different options he gave us, and we've selected an option, which is basically just trying to flatten out that park as much as we can to move the water
Get the water
outside
out
of
of
the
there.
fence.
And I did find it, and it was 65,000 total. But we
Right.
were still gonna
And
do
we were
it
talking
in
about doing
2 or
it-
3 phases
Yeah,
because we don't.
I think it was
Wanna
3.
close down.
I think it was 3,
Yeah.
because we don't want to shut the park down.
Yes.
Yeah, but, do half and then do the other half, whatever, but the grand total for the whole park was 65.
Ultimately, for the township, the best way would be obviously to close it down, do it, seed it, let seed grow, and then open it back up again. But we can do it this way, and we can keep, hopefully, everybody mildly happy at the same time.
Yeah, there was a dozen cars over there tonight.
Yeah, I noticed, they're using the spring, yeah. They're gonna
Dogs,
take
dogs,
advantage of the
dogs.
spring. Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, the dogs were giving swimming lessons out there.
Saw it, I took some pictures. I did, I took a bunch of different angle pictures. Okay, so the dog park is, we're waiting for a survey. Do we have any other announcements or member comments? Anybody? Anybody at all? Okay.
No.
Any other items for the commission?
That should have been
Items?
here by Friday.
Okay,
Well, you need to
We
adjourn it.
I'd like to move to adjourn this meeting at 8:03.
Yay! This is a rush.